Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome today to today's session of Dil Ke Doubts. I am Neeraj Sharma, and I will be your host for this evening. आप सबको मेरा नमस्कार। आज के दिल के डाउट्स के सेशन में हम फिर से एक नए टॉपिक पे बात करने जा रहे हैं। तो बिफोर वी बिगिन अ ब्रीफ इंट्रोडक्शन अबाउट माई सेल्फ, आई एम नीरज शर्मा and I am long associated with HHIF, that is Heart Health India Foundation, and Ram has been a very inspiring figure for all of us, and he has started this initiative for the people like us. Sorry, there was some disruption. So today's session focuses on an important topic, that is do's and don'ts for safe and scientific exercises. तो आज का सेशन जो है हम इस पर लेने जा रहे हैं कि किस तरीके से हम सेफ और साइंटिफिक तरीके से पेशेंट्स जो है वो एक्सरसाइज को टेक ऑन कर सकते हैं। Exercises play a key role in maintaining heart health and supporting recovery, but understanding what is safe and what should be avoided is equally important. हमें ये पता होना चाहिए कि हमें जो एक्सरसाइज करना है उसका क्या तरीका हमारे लिए सेफ है, हार्ट पेशेंट्स के लिए क्या चीज़ फीजिबल है, क्या नहीं है, ये हमें जानना जरूरी है। अदरवाइज इसके बिना अगर हम किसी गाइडेंस के या बिना किसी नॉलेज के हम इसको अंडरटेक करते हैं तो ये हमारे लिए कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स क्रिएट कर सकती है। तो दिस सेशन इज डिजाइंड टू प्रोवाइड प्रैक्टिकल क्लैरिटी फॉलोड बाय एन इंटरैक्टिव क्वेश्चन एंड आंसर, जहां आप अपने क्वेश्चंस को जो है हम लोगों से पूछ सकते हैं और हमारे जो आज के बिलोड गेस्ट हैं वो उसका आंसर देने का पूरा प्रयास करेंगे। तो about HHIF and DKD, I will take 2 minutes to introduce. Heart Health India Foundation is a patient-led initiative improving awareness, support systems, and access to reliable information for individuals managing heart conditions. मैंने जैसा कि बताया कि हार्ट कंडीशंस के जो पेशेंट्स हैं उनके लिए एक बहुत अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म है HHIF, जो कि मिस्टर राम खंडेलवाल के द्वारा शुरू किया गया। और दिल के डाउट्स इज वन ऑफ आवर की इनिशिएटिव्स वेयर वी क्रिएट अ प्लेटफॉर्म फॉर पेशेंट्स एंड केयर गिवर्स टू आस्क क्वेश्चंस एंड रिसीव एक्सपर्ट गाइडेंस इन अ सिंपल एंड प्रैक्टिकल मैनर। और आज का जो ये सेशन है, इसी तरह के सेशंस हम महीने में एक बार करते हैं, दिल के डाउट्स, जहाँ पे हम विभिन्न टॉपिक्स के ऊपर बात करते हैं, दिल से रिलेटेड, हेल्थ से रिलेटेड, जहाँ पे हमारे एक्सपर्ट्स आपको हर तरह के क्वेश्चंस के आंसर देते हैं, उसके ऊपर आपको गाइड करते हैं कि किस तरीके से आपको एक्ट करना है। इसके साथ ही जो हमारे कोलैबोरेटर हैं SOC VPR, तो उनके बारे में आपको इन्फॉर्मेशन देना चाहूँगा कि टुडेज सेशन इज ऑर्गेनाइज्ड इन कोलैबोरेशन विद द सोसाइटी फॉर कार्डियोवास्कुलर एंड पल्मोनरी रिहेबिलिटेशन, दैट इज SOC VPR. It is also reflected in the session communication material, so you can have the information from there as well. So SOC VPR plays an important role in strengthening cardiac and pulmonary rehabilitation practices in India, फोकसिंग ऑन सेफ रिकवरी एंड स्ट्रक्चर्ड केयर। तो आज के जो हमारे कोलैबोरेटर उनके एक्सपर्ट हमारे साथ में आज बैठेंगे इस पैनल में, तो मैं उनका इंट्रोडक्शन आपको देता हूँ। इट इज माई प्रिविलेज टू इंट्रोड्यूस अवर टुडेज स्पीकर, डॉक्टर आशावरी पागे। हेलो डॉक्टर आशावरी, हाउ आर यू डूइंग टुडे?
Good, thank you.
Dr. Ashavari is a cardiopulmonary rehabilitation specialist with an experience of over 18 years, and she has worked with leading institutions such as the Asian Heart Institute, and her work focuses on guiding patients through safe, structured, and evidence-based exercise practices as part of cardiac recovery. So we are very glad to have her with us today, and now I would like to transfer this communication to Dr. Ashavari. She can take on from here.
Yes, thank
Dr.
you very
Ashavari.
much. Yes. First of all, thank you HHIF and of course SOCVPR for having me on this platform today. It's great pleasure to be here to share whatever information I have. I started my undergrad postgrad from KEM Mumbai. From there I was at Asian Heart for some time with Dr. Panda. Then worked in the United States for some time. I've also worked in Germany, Cologne for some time. Came back to Pune. I started the phase 3 cardiac rehab in the Nanath Mangeshkar Hospital. Also have my own venture here with an outpatient cardiac rehab. So I'm into an outpatient cardiac rehabilitation for the last 8 years now, practicing in Pune. And I also look after the Pune branch of SOCVPR. which has all the qualified cardiopulmonary physiotherapists under one roof. So thank you very much for having me here. And let's go on to the topic for today. Can we have the first slide, please? I'm sorry, I'm not sharing it, so I would need to have the next thing being told. Yes. So hello, everybody. I feel to start with, I guess we need to look beyond the traditional thinking is what I feel. So traditional thinking says that I would start doing some exercises or nutritional or medical therapy after I get certain events or conditions, or after I recognize that I have some condition. We have to, of course, go beyond this, looking at preventive cardiac health. So we've got to do something for prevention. So कुछ हो ही ना होने के लिए पहले से ही कुछ करना है हमको, कुछ steps लेनी है. So thinking has to change that way. I think COVID has definitely helped us to look at a way where the importance of rehab or importance of physical activity, I think everybody knows it now. So it is high time that we look after the preventive aspect of rehab or of health. We also have to look at the lifestyle disease management. So I would quickly touch base on these topics, and of course we will move forward to the main topic of today, of the do's and don'ts. But before we go ahead, we also have to make sure, I wanted to make this point, that selecting a doctor or a fitness coach wisely also is equally important. I think it's our responsibility to choose somebody in whose hands we are giving our health. So it is our responsibility to make sure that the person in whom we are relying for our health is well qualified, has good credentials, and is capable of handling our health. So remember, because this due to COVID, there has been it's a feast of knowledge on social media. क्या लेना है क्या नहीं लेना है ये हमको तय करना है, और हमारी हेल्थ हमको किसके हाथों में देनी है ये उसकी जिम्मेदारी नहीं है. I think it is that individual's responsibility to make sure it's his right to know that coach, how qualified that coach is to guide me. Okay, next please. So when we move forward, can we have the next slide, please? Before we move forward, I always say, you have to make health as a family celebration. Can you click once more? So make health as a family celebration. So each and every individual of your family has to have some form of physical activity which can be performed at their own level. And when it becomes a family celebration, then it becomes like a part of your life. So I always give example of my husband, who's Dr. Aniruddha Pagi, is an orthopedic surgeon, but I proudly say that he's an athlete. He's a runner with a good pace. And of course, I preach what I practice. My kids are into sports and activities, but my in-laws are equally active. My father-in-law is 76-year-old, post CABG. He's a dermatologist, but I haven't seen, it's been 18 years of my marriage now, I haven't seen a single day of him without exercise. So he will do his cycling of 21 gear for like an hour, and then he would start his OPD. What I meant to say, what I need to emphasize is, one needs to make sure that we at least have 30-40 minutes of our time for ourselves, for some form of activity. Now, what form of activity, what should be the intensity, what are the do's and don'ts, that's exactly what we are going to cover. Next, please. Slide, please. So again, be confident, be fit. It's the best thing one can wear, is what they say, right? It's not just how you look, not just how smart you are, but it is about believing in what you can do, right? Next, please. And this confidence comes from exercises. Next slide, please. Exercise makes you healthy, fit. Of course, it improves your posture, your muscle tone. It makes you more efficient in your work. I think there is nothing to be, it's an established fact. So I don't think I need to really touch base a lot on this. Next, please. I'm so sorry, I need to say this next. Physical activity and self-esteem are also, there are researches shown that there is a lot of connection between physical activity and self-esteem. So once you are an active and alert person, your self-esteem is boosted automatically. It's like a established fact. Next, please. Exercise has to be treated like a medicine, right? So it is the ultimate, I say, low-cost therapy. You don't have to pay for doing exercises. It is something that you can do on your own. It's a low-cost therapy, so please do it. Next, please. Benefits when we say about exercises, I mean, it has to be like a non-negotiable aspect of life, I feel. And as it's written, I mean, this is what I love. So I've written down these things that we are blessings of our lifestyle. So it's always easy to pop up a pill and regulate one's thyroid or diabetes, and we end up doing a partnership with them. But we are ready to partner. Are we ready to partner with exercise? Good health is priceless, cannot be bought. It needs efforts, enough efforts to eventually make it priceless. And it has to be doable, sustainable, and enjoyable for sure. So I will also talk about that. Next, please. Again, these are very simple slides. So I'm just going to go through it quickly because we know that exercise gets into, it improves your immunity, it improves your HDL, right? HDL is your high density lipoprotein. That's your good cholesterol, something called as bad cholesterol and good cholesterol. So HDL is something which has to go above 40 and which is usually seen in your lipid profiles. Fortunately, exercise or it determines HDL number determines the physical activity. It can improve only with physical activity, in fact. And of course, there are few omega-3 fatty acids in your nutrition. If you can take it can help, but physical activity is the measure. Again, with exercise, your resting heart rate, I'm sure everybody knows, comes down because your heart starts working more efficiently. It also reduces your obesity, improves mental function. वो सब कुछ तो है ही. But HDL is the main part that we should remember. Next, please. So all these are lifestyle diseases, and I again emphasizing the same part that you have to do lifestyle modifications with exercise, good nutrition, mental health, stress management, and medical therapy. Everything when comes together, you can have or deal with these lifestyle diseases. Next, please. Again, next, please. I don't want to go through all this. So visceral fat again. Before going on to the do's and don'ts, we have to make sure that there are certain things which we should know. I'm sure everybody would know, but waist size more than 35 in women and 40 inches for men can spell increased risk of various diseases, right? It's the simplest thing that you can measure. Actually, the simplest way is, I don't know whether people know, but you should take just a small, what you say, लंबी डोरी लेनी है और टेप लेनी है, आपको हेड से टो तक छोड़ देनी है, एंड वो जो लेंथ है उसको हाफ कर देना है. एंड इफ यू कैन फिट दैट इनटू योर वेस्ट, दैट्स द राइट थिंग, दैट्स द वेस्ट हिप रेशियो, एंड दैट्स हाउ यू कैन क्विकली टेस्ट if you are into that range of a good waist to hip ratio, and a measure of visceral fat, right? Next, please. So again, do's and don'ts also include prevention, and prevention means doing annual screening tests of, there are few screening tests which I have mentioned here. I'm sure everybody would be having these tests done nowadays from their physicians or doctors' prescriptions, but you have to have your OGTT or a fasting PP, thyroid, lipid profiles, a CBC to know the hemoglobin, because if your hemoglobin is less, then your exercise capacity would reduce. You would be having fatigue. So you should check if your hemoglobin is good. You should check if your thyroid is normal. You should check if your cholesterols are in normal ranges. You should check if your 2D echo, that means your EF, जो हम बोलते हैं pumping capacity, जो हमको 2D echo में समझती है, you should be checking that, say every 6 monthly or 1 yearly, whatever your cardiologist must have advised you, but you should be knowing it so that you know where you stand. And that's the measure that we as physical therapists should know to prescribe you or to advise you an exercise. You cannot do a high intensity exercise if you're not in that range. So one should know for safety their own EF और the pumping capacity. वो मेरे हार्ट का फंक्शन कितना है ये मुझे पता होना चाहिए. लैब टेस्ट में आपका विटामिन डी लेवल, B12 level are also equally important, because if I am giving you exercise, you're exercising, and if your vitamin D, calcium levels are low, then you should not be doing high impact exercises. You should make sure that your levels come up to a level where you can sustain those high impact exercises. So these are the things which you have to make sure to prevent injuries, to prevent any event. So make sure you're doing certain screening tests before you go or start or do any exercises. And of course, stress test is ideally advised annually to again know your exercise capacity. Next, please. We'll go to the next, stress management. I don't want to talk a lot about that, but yes, it is the most important part of, we talk about exercise, we talk about nutrition, but I think stress management, and I think everybody, each individual should have their own coping strategies. Whatever a counselor tells you, the counselor would maybe advise you 10 things, but you will have to pick up your own coping strategies to make sure that you stay happy throughout, or to enjoy what you're doing to reduce stress. Next, please. Next, please. We'll go to the main content. Yes. So before we begin, I'm sure everybody knows that when we are doing exercise, and because today is the day of exercise, I'm going to talk a lot about only exercise without diverting into mental health and nutrition. But it has to be a holistic approach, I'm sure everyone knows. So do's and don'ts में सबसे पहले तो आता है कि you should know that there are these 4 pillars, right? You should have, or the 4 pillars are of course flexibility, cardio, strength training, and balance and coordination. These are the 4 pillars of exercise. Now science has proven, since medical science is evidence-based, we talk about research to back whatever we say. So in your exercise routine or your fitness thing, your flexibility has to be 10%. Your cardio should be 60 to 70%. Strength training should be 30%. And balance and coordination should be 10%. That should be the distribution of each factor. Now, when people say I do yoga every day, they are utilizing only 10% of their fitness capacity. Remember, you have to do every aspect in its own forms, in its own composition, in its own intensity to get the benefits. Now, this ratio, surprisingly, reverses with age. For example, as age advances, as we say, because there is muscle loss, because there is bone loss, you have to start doing strength training more than your cardio. So as age advances, so as you go up to 50, in 60s, in 70s, I don't mean strength training means आप बस कुछ weight lifting करके कुछ सुल्तान बन जाओ, but you have to start, ऐसा होगा भी नहीं वैसे, but you have to start doing your strength training focus more than your cardio, because you have to maintain your bone loss, especially in postmenopausal women, and of course in men as well. With aging, this ratio has to be ulta. But for whatever reasons, what I wanted to emphasize is you have to have this distribution when you're doing exercise. Now, how do I fit this distribution? Next, please. So when we say components, that's the reason we have the components of exercises. Right? When I'm doing a certain exercise regime, we need to have a warm-up session, a main conditioning phase, and then a cool-down phase. Now the warm-up phase has to be for 5 to 10 minutes. The cool-down phase has to be again for 5 to 10 minutes. And the middle phase is your main conditioning aerobic phase. So even if I have 30 minutes today, I would still do a warm-up of 5 minutes in between whatever 10, 15 minutes of aerobic, and then last 5 minutes of cool-down. That has to be my distribution for whatever time I do my exercises. So that is the component of exercise. Now, when I'm doing these components, you have to try and make sure that you're distributing these flexibility, balance exercises in your warm-up and cool-down. Okay. warm-ups are usually dynamic stretches. You don't keep the stretch for a long, but you do dynamic stretches. And the cool down is where you do sustained stretches, right? Of course, we can have another big demo and discussion on that. So I'm not going to again go into deep in that, but these are the areas where you distribute your flexibility balance exercise. Now the core, when we talk about the cardio and strength training has to be sorry, I'll talk about that in the fit principle. Let's talk about the cardio or conditioning phase. That's what the slide shows. So what do you mean by cardio? I'm sure everyone here has undergone, I think, some event, or somebody, is there somebody who has not undergone an event, or whatever reasons, whichever it's a universal formula. Next slide, please. So when we talk about cardio means, cardio मतलब क्या है कि आपको अगर मेरा हार्ट रेट 80 है, मैं 1 घंटा भर चल के आई और वो 80 रहा, so then I have not done anything. I have not done any cardio aerobic session. So how much should it go up? And there's a universal formula of 220 minus age. This is a very gross one. We don't use it for patients. This is just a gross one. For patients, we use Cargonon's formula. But grossly, one can know that आपका 220 minus age, आपका maximum heart rate कितना आ गया? 60 to 85% of that maximum heart rate should be your exercise heart rate, which is your moderate intensity zone 2. That is your cardio. Matlab, simply put, if your heart rate is 80, then it has to at least go up with 30 beats minimum. So do an exercise, for example, walking, fast walking, jogging, swimming, cycling. These are all large muscle group activities which are called as cardio, which will help your heart muscles work. And this form of activity, some activity which can get your heart rate up by at least 30 beats. अगर वो कुछ भी ऊपर नहीं जा रहा है, मतलब आप कुछ भी नहीं कर रहे हो, you are just mentally satisfying yourself कि हाँ मैं 1 घंटे बाद चल के आई, but you've not achieved anything. So effective optimum exercise के लिए, can you show the next slide please? Effective exercise के लिए अगर I'm 45, so at 45 my target heart rate, or my maximum heart rate is 175. So अगर मेरा 175 maximum heart rate है, तो मुझे at least ये जो range बीच में दिया है 105 to 149, इस बीच में मुझको exercise करनी है. This is my safe range. This is my target heart rate. Now when I start doing any activity, I would try and monitor that my heart rate goes in the initial ranges. मतलब 105 है, तो अगर 110, 120 तक मैं जा रही हूँ, that is decent. And then I slowly go up to the higher range of it, that is 130, 140. This is just the intensity. You have to try and maintain this for at least 20 minutes. That is cardio exercise. That is the exercise that will help your heart function better. That's a cardio heart exercise. That is cardio exercise. So you have to make sure that your zone 2, you're doing some exercises in zone 2 for at least 20 minutes of your time. Okay, next slide, please. Then comes the most important thing is the fit principle, which is important, right? आप कितने इंटेंसिटी के साथ कार्डियो या एक्सरसाइज कर रहे हो, कितने टाइम के लिए कर रहे हो, कौन सा टाइप कर रहे हो, और कितनी बार कर रहे हो, ये सारी चीजें डिपेंड्स ऑन द गोल दैट यू हैव, राइट? सो फॉर एग्जांपल इन शॉर्ट बताना है, तो अगर मुझे वेट लॉस करना है, मेरा गोल अलग हो जाएगा. मेरी इंटेंसिटी, मेरी फ्रीक्वेंसी, मेरी टाइप, मेरा टाइम सब अलग है. तो हर एक का जो गोल है, दैट गोल हैज टू बी डिटरमाइंड. मुझे मेरा गोल क्या है, व्हाट डू यू वांट टू अचीव at the end of say 3 months, or at the end of, for whatever reasons, अगर मेरा अभी एक इवेंट हुआ है, या फिर I have undergone a angioplasty, or I have undergone a any cardiac surgery, then there are guidelines. We usually use AHA or AACPR, American Heart Association, or American Association of Cardiopulmonary Rehab. ये 2 गाइडलाइंस है जो हम बताती है कि हमको ये फिट प्रिंसिपल कैसे यूज करना है. एंड दैट इज हाउ वी गाइड यू टू हेल्प यू अंडरस्टैंड फॉर योर ओन फिटनेस गोल्स कि ये एक्सरसाइज आपको कितनी बार करनी. फॉर एग्जांपल अगर स्ट्रेंथ ट्रेनिंग कर रहे हो, So we don't advise you to do them on consecutive days, right? We usually do it on alternate days. Should not be doing on consecutive days. वैसे ही हर एक्सरसाइज टाइप हर कंडीशन के हिसाब से चेंज होता है, राइट? सो उस हिसाब से देन यू विल हैव टू गेट दैट असेस्ड फ्रॉम फिजिकल थेरेपिस्ट दैट आपका कंडीशन, आपका ईएफ, आपका ईसीजी, आपके बाकी के लैब रिपोर्ट्स, आपका फिटनेस लेवल, ये सारी चीजें आपको कैसी है, एंड देन accordingly how do you have an exercise regime with this fit principle, right? But remember, whenever you do your exercise, make sure you are remembering कि आपका कार्डियो या आपका एक्सरसाइज का इंटेंसिटी कैसा है. जैसे मैं बोली कि कार्डियो एक्सरसाइज इफ यू वांट टू डू, यू टू डू इट इन जोन 2, दैट्स द सेफ रेंज. अगर जोन 1 में कर रहे हो मतलब आप कुछ भी नहीं कर रहे हो, राइट? एंड अगर आप जोन 3 या फिर 80 to 100% के रेंज में जा रहे हो, that is again ऐसे नहीं है कि नहीं करना है, but you have to train for that. That is called as HIIT intensity, high intensity interval training. You cannot stay in the high intensity for a long time. You have to come down in the moderate and go to high. So it's like an interval training. So that's about the intensity. Time, minimum आपको 20 minutes cardio देना है, उसके नीचे तो कुछ इफेक्ट आएगा नहीं. 20 to 30, max 40 minutes of cardio. एंड अगर आपको सारा एक्सरसाइज प्लान मिनिमम करना है तो 40-45 मिनट्स आपको देने हैं, ताकि आप 5-10 मिनट्स वार्म अप, 5-10 मिनट्स वार्म कूल डाउन और बीच का 20-25 मिनट्स ऑफ कार्डियो, इतना आपको खुद के लिए निकालना है, राइट? सो दैट इज योर फ्रीक्वेंसी. रिमेंबर हाउ फ्रीक्वेंटली यू नीड टू डू विल अगेन डिपेंड. हाउ मच यू शुड डू also should be assessed, kept in mind and then done. Time, as I said, and type. Now, type of exercise also changes, depends on each individual. अगर किसी को घुटने का दर्द है, as we always say that, then cycling is better because it's a non-weight bearing exercise. Cycling में weight bearing नहीं होती घुटनों पे, so you can do a cycling to achieve your cardio exercise. At the same time, you're saving on your knees. When you're doing cycling again, your seat height also matters. क्योंकि लोग बोलते हैं आपने तो मुझे साइकिलिंग बता दी लेकिन मेरे घुटने दर्द कर रहे हैं, लेकिन आप सीट का हाइट तो देखो. सीट का हाइट के भी कुछ रूल्स है जो आप देख लीजिए, वेयर यू हैव टू मेक श्योर दैट योर नी हैज, योर आपका जो घुटना है वो पूरा ऑलमोस्ट नीचे आना चाहिए, स्ट्रेट 5 डिग्री बेंड. सो अगर ज्यादा बेंडिंग पे आप साइकिल कर रहे हो तो घुटना दर्द होने वाला है. सो टाइप चेंजेस विद कंडीशन. अगर एक इंसान रन कर रहा है तो उसका मतलब नहीं है हर एक ने रन ही करना चाहिए. एवरीबडी हैज देयर ओन वे ऑफ डूइंग इट. फॉर एग्जांपल, माय हस्बैंड इज अ रनर. आई डू अ लॉट ऑफ स्ट्रेंथ ट्रेनिंग एंड योगा. I also run for 5K, but I have never trained myself for more than 10. So every person has to identify what kind of exercise is enjoyable and what kind of exercise to choose at what age and what condition. It's very important, right? Next, please. Monitors. When you talk about do's and don'ts, the most important thing is how can you monitor yourself when you're on your own. आजकल तो बहुत सारे स्मार्टफोन्स है, बट स्मार्टफोन्स में जो नंबर्स दिख रहे हैं वो मुझे समझे ही नहीं, तो मुझे फायदा क्या है वो स्मार्टफोन का, स्मार्ट वॉच का. तो स्मार्ट वॉच में बहुत सारी चीजें दिखती है, बट यू शुड फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल not be anxious about it also, because there are personalities who get very anxious having that smartwatch. So हमको थोड़ा पर्सनालिटी देख के भी बताना पड़ता है कि आप स्मार्ट वॉच देखो मत. या फिर अगर कोई पर्सनालिटी ऐसी है जो who gets driven with that, then yes, that is for you. So monitoring safety monitors, coming down to, you have to, everybody should know how to measure their own pulse. Okay? It's a technician's job. I cannot see anybody here. I'm just going to show what I can, or everybody can see me. लेकिन सब लोग अगर वीडियो ऑन कर पाए तो मैं देख पाऊंगी. अदरवाइज सिंपल है, आपको पता भी होगा शायद, लेकिन जैसे आपको स्क्रीन में दिखा रहा है और पीपीटी में, वैसे आपको आपके थंब के यहाँ पे जो रेडियल आर्टरी है वहां पे आपको ये 3 पल्प्स रखने हैं. And you have to bend the wrist a bit so that you relax that muscle, and you press on it a bit to first feel your pulse. you should be able to first feel your pulse. वो जो pulse feel हो रही है 15 seconds में आपको कितने आ रहे हैं into 4 is your heart rate, right? It's that simple. You don't need any gadget for it. You just have to hold it for 15 seconds, and once you get used to the feeling the pulse, it's very easy. So feel your pulse. 15 seconds say about, say for example 20 beats high, so into 4 is 80. So 80 is my heart rate. So it's that simple, right? Next please. So if not, so if it is sorry, if not measuring pulse, if not a smart watch, then there are scales which are used, right? Talk test is the simplest thing to know, that if I can speak a complete sentence, for example, light means I can speak a complete sentence, and I can even sing a song. So for example, you are walking and you think you can even sing a song. That means you're in your light intensity, you're doing nothing, you're less than the zone 2. You're in the light intensity mode, you're just not doing anything. So you have to make sure you go into your zone 2 at least, which means you should still be able to speak a complete sentence, but if somebody asks you to sing, you may not be able to. So that little amount of breathlessness that you feel, you should feel. That means you are in your moderate intensity zone 2. But you should not also be going into a high intensity mode if you don't intend to. So which means if you're not able to speak more than 4 words, मतलब मुझे ऐसा लगा कि मुझे ऐसे हो रहा है. So if you're not able to speak more than 4 words, you are into a high intensity zone. This has been validated, reliability, etc. करके ये scale widely used होता है. The other scale is the Borg scale, which is again internationally used scale. Even the European rehab centers, I had been to the Sports University Cologne, every ergometer had a Borg scale in front of them. So I think every individual should, it needs some understanding. आपके physical therapist से बात करके आप थोड़ा इसका understanding ले लो, how to what to say, use the scale for your benefits. But once you know, because what it does is it measures your exertion level, which is important. For example, simplest to say, अगर मेरा heart rate अभी से 100 ही है, पर मुझे तो मैडम ने बताया था कि 120-130 जाना चाहिए, बट मेरे बोर्ग स्केल पे मेरा अभी 17 स्कोर आ रहा है, मतलब आई एम फीलिंग एक्सर्टेड. We would still have you go with your feeling rather than your numbers. Okay, so this is a scale which will tell you how much exerted you feel, and you monitor yourself that way, right? Because most of the individuals sometimes do have a medicine or beta blockers which would be having your heart rate, which would be getting your heart rate down, right? There are certain medications which are given or prescribed so that your heart gets rest and your heart rate is medically got down. In that case, you cannot have a heart rate based training. So then what do? We do a Borg scale. We look at your exertion level to make sure you're safe. And these are the zones, blue, green, red. Then there are feelings written. You can Google these and you will find excellent scales. Try and understand, go to your nearest cardiac rehab therapist or a physical therapist who would clear your doubts before using this scale, and understand it and then use it. Okay, next slide, please. So this is all about what we're talking about, cardio exercises. Coming down to strength training, of course, yes, strength training is equally important. It has to be a part of your regime, either a dumbbells or TheraBands. Next, please, we'll go to the do's and don'ts. Next, please. Okay, but when you're doing strength training, the most important part is to understand that you're not breath holding, right? There is something called as Valsalva maneuver. So now most of the times, actually ऐसे भी होता है कि people who are doing a lot of gym or doing a lot of strength training and not following the breathing pattern well, they'll end up in having high blood pressure or hypertension. They already must be having some comorbidities, although risk stratification करते ही हैं, पर family history है, and then you start doing strength training, आपको तो लगता है आप strength training अच्छे के लिए कर रहे हो, तो फिर क्यों ऐसे हो रहा है? So it's not just strength training, but for all your exercises, you have to make sure that you're not holding your breath. This is something called as Valsalva maneuver, right? It's often considered unsafe due to the extreme rapid spikes in BP. So make sure that you're doing a normal breathing pattern when you're doing any exercise, especially when you're doing squats or doing like wall sits, or if you're doing dead bugs or any sort of bending exercise, or you're doing some lifting exercises with dumbbells, even if the weights are low, sometimes either the personality is, बहुत सारे लोगों की पर्सनालिटी ऐसी होती है कि वो अनकॉन्शियसली ब्रेथ होल्ड करते हैं, तो ये जो है that is not good, especially if somebody has a compromised condition, especially for individuals who are having a hypertension or diabetes or any other metabolic syndromes. तो उनको तो है ही, but normally also you should make sure that there is a risk. There's a risk of fainting. The maneuver will reduce the venous return and you can actually just have a syncope. Although you recover it from it, you can just lie down, get your legs up and your blood pressure comes up. But this process of recovery will depend on the coping strategies that you have. So if somebody does not have a good coping strategy, will end up in problems. So better to avoid. Make sure you're doing a good breathing. Learn that from your physical therapist, how to do a good breathing. Every exercise should have a good breathing pattern without breath holding. It's extremely important. Otherwise, again, eye injury, eye problem, hernia, बहुत सारी चीजें हैं unconsciously होती रहती है. आपको अभी समझेगा भी नहीं और long term में हो जाएगा, right? So make sure that you are exhaling to the hardest part of the lift. Also make sure you're tightening your core, bracing it. Like your core muscles have to be activated or recruited with a slow and controlled exhale is important, and strictly avoid breath holding. Right? Next, please. Faulty posture. Do's and don'ts का सबसे main तो faulty postures है जो हमें समझेगा भी नहीं. So some people who are doing unsupervised exercises, I would say at least get yourself supervised once, at least from your physical therapist, to make sure you're doing the exercise in the proper posture. Do it in front of a mirror. That always helps to give a positive feedback. These faulty postures, when done again and again and again, you will land up in some form of injury later. You wouldn't even know which exercises caused what. So make sure that each exercise that you do, this is equally important, that your posture has to be really good and optimum for that particular exercise, right? So for example, when you're doing a deadlift, we know that we need to have a cat position in your back. You cannot have a rounded back and do a deadlift. Similarly, even in standing, if you're doing any exercise, you have to make sure your scapula are set. For example, I'm not drooping my shoulders and doing it. I'm standing straight, my scaps are set, my neck is straight, and I'm doing it. Okay? So simple things, but very important. Also, if there are people here who are or doing a desk work, then again there are ergonomics, right? There could be like an hour's lecture on that, on ergonomics. So we'll not go there, but remember that desk work position rules also are very, very essential, because even if you're doing exercises, but you're still going into the faulty postures for the next 8 hours of your day or 9 hours of your day on in front of your desktop, then again you are just not achieving any results from your exercise. So make sure your postures are right at your workplace and during your exercises. Next, please. Yeah, we're coming towards the conclusion, but what I usually say is, you are in control of your body, you own it and you live in it. So make sure that you take these tips for your benefit and then act on it. Next, please. And you can't keep repeating the same actions and expect different results, right? To conclude, make sure you're having a normal breathing pattern during the exercise. Do not hold your breath. Correct posture is important while you're exercising. Monitor yourself very well while you're exercising. Get yourself supervised that your monitoring is good to somebody who is clinician, who is qualified and certified to guide you. That is important. Get yourself well assessed by a qualified person and use the FIT principle under their guidance initially. And these are the 4 flexibility, cardio, strength training, balance, and coordination pillars of exercise. Use them in the right proportion, which is very essential. Right? Next, please. I think we are done. Yeah. Enjoy and have fun. The most important thing is enjoy and select an exercise which would be enjoyable for you. So some people are like indoors. They like doing exercises indoors, and some people are really good outdoor people. They like doing exercises outdoors. So choose what is best for you, because that will decide on the hormones released. The happy hormones that are released would be released only if you're enjoying the exercise. I always say exercise is like meditation for me. That's the 1 hour I've been dedicated myself for years कि हमको और कुछ नहीं करना है वो 1 घंटे में, बस एक्सरसाइज करना है. वो पूरा फोकस सिर्फ एक्सरसाइज पे होता है ऑटोमेटिकली. So that's like meditation for me. Yes. So I think I come to the end. Thank you, and we can take some questions if you want.
Thank you, Dr. Ashavari, for such an insightful session today. So बहुत ही insightful चीज़ें आपने आज बताई कि किस तरीके से हमें अपनी conditions के हिसाब से exercise को इस्तेमाल करना है अपने benefits के लिए, क्या हमें करना है और क्या नहीं करना है, क्योंकि हमारे लिए बहुत important है कि जिन events से होके गुजरे हैं उनका ध्यान रखते हुए हमें अपने आप को कंट्रोल्ड मैनर में सब चीज़ों को करना है. अपनी हार्ट रेट को मॉनिटर करते हुए करना है. हमें पता होना चाहिए कि हमारी सेफ जोन क्या है. जिस तरीके से आपने लेवल्स के बारे में बताया और हार्ट बीट को कैसे आपने मेजर करना है, ये बहुत ही इस तरह की चीज़ें जो जनरली आम इंसान को नहीं पता होती, बट यू हैव told them very in such a manner that we can easily calculate it now on our own. So
Yes.
thank you very much. So let's take some questions from our visitors as well. As any question, you can directly address to Dr. Ashavari, and then we can conclude and continue with the remaining session. Anyone who is having questions? Okay, so मैं अपने आप से स्टार्ट करता हूँ. मुझे करीब 10 साल हो गए मैम मेरे बाईपास सर्जरी को हुए हुए. That's an open heart surgery 10 years back. So for last 5 years I am training myself. So what my routine is, like I do 2 hours training every day for at least 5 days a week. My schedule is like I do 45 to 50 minutes strength training in the morning, and after my day's activity in the evening I take 30 minutes brisk walk, and then I do a minutes cycling. So do you think I am doing enough? Because I am feeling quite comfortable in doing this. I am following this pattern since last 5 years, and I have benefited immensely from this. So what are your takes on this routine?
Yes. Can I ask you? I will have to ask many questions actually before I say anything. But can I ask you your EF?
Yeah, it is 55.
Okay, so it is good.
Yeah, last
And
registered was 50.
हाँ, और आप strength training तो वैसे भी रोज कर रहे हो, but I'm sure you know that if you're doing upper body today, you will not be doing upper body the next day. That I'm sure you're following, right?
It on alternate days, like on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And the other 3 days, I am training myself functionally, like core training and other activities.
Okay, okay. नहीं अच्छा ही कर रहे हो.
Okay, so
आपको
any
सिर्फ आपने stress test करा है. It's always good to test your exercise tolerance.
yes, I do test myself every year, once a year.
Okay.
So that's how I am doing.
Good. Nice to hear this. Glad to hear that you're following everything.
Yes, and it has benefited me immensely. Like I have been able to maintain my blood sugar levels and my heart rate, and my blood
Absolutely.
pressure is also in check. So my resting heart rate keeps revolving around, say, 62 or 64
Okay,
most
that's
of the
not
time.
bad.
Yeah. And my max heart zone, I take it to about 130. That's my
अच्छा,
max heart
हाँ,
when
हाँ, उससे
when
ज्यादा आप
I'm
नहीं करते.
yes.
Good, बहुत अच्छे. You're doing right. Have you ever used the Borg scale? Try using it.
आज आपने बताया तो जरूर मैं उसको भी ट्राई करके देखूंगा.
Using it, yes.
जी. और कोई हमारे फ्रेंड, if anyone wants to ask anything or who haven't started the training yet but they want to start it, Dr. Ashavari can help you.
I practice in Pune. My clinic is on Prabhat Road, Pune. And कोई भी कभी भी पुणे आए तो do visit. An open invite.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
Same.
Definitely.
May not be
You have
a reason.
worked with Dr. Panda, I heard.
Yes, I was with Dr. Panda. Where did you get operated?
I was operated in Jaipur
Charge.
at Eternal Healthcare Institute. My father
Okay.
was operated by Dr. Panda in 1999
Okay.
when he was serving at Jaslok Hospital, Mumbai.
Initially, yes.
So I think that was the start of his career. I think almost
Yes,
30
yes, yes. Yes. I was in Asian Art from 2007, 2006, no, 2005 to 2009.
So you joined the institute from the beginning.
Not really. I think Asian Art Institute 2001 you start was. I don't remember. No, I was not from the beginning. It was Dr. Anjana Longhani who was the head, and I joined, and in a couple of years, I had an opportunity to become the head of the department, and I had an opportunity to see Dr. Manmohan Singh also, at that time when he was the Prime Minister of India, because
Okay.
Dr. Panda had operated him, and because we were in his team.
So we are lucky that today we are talking to an expert who can help us in alleviating all our problems. Okay, so
Okay, I think no questions.
Excuse me, ma'am. Can you hear
Yes.
me, ma'am?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am, very nice, informative session, and I could relate to, actually, I'm a runner, and I can relate to what you told just 1 hour in this last session, like resting heart rate, and while running, heart rate goes up and then cool down, and before that, warm up. Just my question is that sometimes in my smartwatch, it shows the heart rate 170 is 175, but I'm very much comfortable. I can talk, I can even sing a song. I'm running even though at a pace of 6 minutes per kilometer. Now later on, it suddenly goes down to 130s also. So that readings may not be correct, na? Because I can physically feel experience. Ki I am very much comfortable. I am running and yes, ma'am.
Which one you have? Which one do you have?
I use Garmin, ma'am. Garmin. I run.
Garmin is good. Garmin
Yes,
is good, but still sometimes it is very movement sensitive and sweat aa jayega to bhi nahi aata. So the best thing is whenever in doubt, just wait for 15 seconds and cross check. I doubt 170 जा रहा है और आपको को एकदम comfortable लग रहा है.
Ma'am, it happens. On some other day, it will be 130s, and with the same intensity on same easiness, I am running, and then one day, some other day, it will be 170. Means I've been running for last 6 to 7 years. So average, my intensity level is average after the run, the overall average will be around 145, 140, maximum cases.
Good.
But yes, ma'am. Some other days it will show 170, 175 for some moments, some half an hour. So
peak heart rate. What's your peak heart rate going? That is 170 maybe. At peak heart rate for some time is 170. Maybe.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sometimes even 180 also. But as per my age, that formula you told 220 minus age should be the maximum. that is my age is 48, so 172. So it goes up to maximum 180. Otherwise, yes, 170 is only, and my average will be around 140 only, 140 to 145.
Which
So,
is okay, but I think you still have to train more to make sure you're running in zone 2. Little lesser than that. That's the endurance running. So
okay.
sometimes people are real good runners. They run with a good pace, but the heart
Yes.
rate jump,
Yes, ma'am.
jump, that needs to be trained. So आपको थोड़ा interval training पे भी ध्यान रखना है. आप करते रहोगे शायद when you're training in your running or running
ma'am.
training, when we say, should also do like an interval training to get
Got
yourself
it, ma'am. Yeah,
trained.
800 meter fast and then 200 meter slow and then again.
Correct,
Yes, ma'am.
correct. तो वैसे
Yes.
करके शायद slowly होगा, but make sure you're not going in that range.
Yes, ma'am.
Peak heart rate भी
get it.
आपका 170 बहुत ज्यादा हो गया, है ना?
But average is good, ma'am. Average is 140 to 145.
Average is good. Average is good.
Okay.
Yes, average is good. Average is good.
And
Maybe
just
slowly
one
it will come.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, just I see the resting heart rate that in my watch, it shows like very less range, say 44, 45. So that
Which
is
is
something unusual. Unusual.
No.
ma'am.
No,
Okay.
you're a runner at 6, na? Your speed is 6, you said. And you run at 6,
Six.
na?
Ma'am, 6 or 530, 515 also I go.
So that's a good pace. That's a good pace.
Okay. Okay.
Which
ma'am.
means
Okay.
it's okay. My husband also has 40,
Okay.
45-ish. That's okay. All these 6-ish, 6-ish runners for a long time do get their resting heart rate down to 40, 45.
Okay. So I should not worry that much about miss because it's showing
अच्छा है
right
resting
now
heart
it's
rate.
showing 44. 44 it's showing, ma'am.
Very
So
nice.
Thank you,
Awesome.
ma'am. That was
बहुत
amazing.
अच्छे, बहुत अच्छे.
Thank you, ma'am. Because that has this thing discussion has made me comfortable. So there is nothing unusual. So it's normal to have. So because
to have a low resting up, because you've been running for 5-6 years now with a good pace,
yes.
and your average heart rate also is good, which means you're okay. Your resting heart rate, that's the fitness level that we say. Your resting heart rate is the level of fitness that you have. Will show how efficient your heart is working.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, just 2 months back, I just recently underwent the CT angiography also to be like my age is like increasing, so to be on safer side. And I just asked my physician to prescribe me that CT angiography. Then I think it was very good. It was normal. CT calcium score was 0 for me.
Calcium score was good.
Yes, ma'am. So ma'am, but even though my cholesterol was high, even though my LPA level is also high, but this running or physical activity has, I can relate that this has saved me. Otherwise, I might have some issues regarding that heart or some unusual, but it has shown me the test has given clear results that CT calcium score is 0 and all arteries are clear. So
great. Congratulations. Yes. Good. Your
Thank
LDL levels will come down with good nutrition plan.
Yes, ma'am. I am taking care of that, ma'am. I am taking care of. And just you told na ki HDL increases with physical activity. That I could experience myself. My HDL was 30. My HDL was 36 initially. Now it is 55.
क्या बात कर रहे हो? बहुत अच्छे.
Yes, ma'am.
और क्या चाहिए आपको? और क्या चाहिए टेस्ट?
आप तो एकदम फिटनेस पर्सन है इस ग्रुप में. हमें तो एनवी करना चाहिए आपसे कि मतलब आपने जो स्टैट्स दिए हैं हमारे सामने, तो आप एक बिल्कुल नॉर्मल इंसान हैं आप.
जी सर, मतलब मेरे को
आपका एक्सपीरियंस लिख के रखो या फिर आप शेयर करो लोगों के साथ आपका एक्सपीरियंस.
जी बिल्कुल.
बिकॉज़ हम बूस्ट करने में और आप बूस्ट करने में बहुत फर्क है.
जी मैम. एक्चुअली प्रैक्टिकली मैंने एक्सपीरियंस किया, एचडीएल बढ़ते हुए देखा अपना रीडिंग्स में, एलडीएल भी कम होते हुए. ठीक है, उसके लिए मुझे मेडिसिन भी लेनी पड़ी क्योंकि एलडीएल फिर भी, लेकिन एचडीएल मेरा फिजिकल एक्टिविटी से ही बढ़ा. ये मैं बिल्कुल अपने एक्सपीरियंस से कह सकता हूँ.
और बाकी सारे लिपिड्स जो एलडीएल कोलेस्ट्रॉल होते हैं वो अपने मेडिसिन से हम मेडिसिन अफेक्ट करते हैं, पर एचडीएल को मेडिसिन अफेक्ट नहीं करता. एचडीएल सिर्फ फिजिकल एक्टिविटी से बढ़ता है.
जी मैम. और मतलब इसी के साथ मतलब क्योंकि मेरे को कोलेस्ट्रॉल का इशू था और प्लस एलपीए लेवल जो मेरा स्टैंडर्ड जो 90s में है, उसके बावजूद भी मैं अपना जो है कि सीटी एंजियोग्राफी मेरा ठीक हुआ, तो जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ फिजिकल एक्टिविटी ओनली मैम. अदरवाइज उनके कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस कुछ ज्यादा हो सकते थे, इवन दो मेरा बाकी सब
Correct.
चीजें मैं ठीक रखने की कोशिश करता हूँ कि चाहे वेदर लाइफस्टाइल है, चाहे स्लीप है,
Correct.
चाहे मेरा ईटिंग है, बट मेनली इज
Correct.
फिजिकल मींस आई कुड
Yes,
रिलेट टू दैट.
absolutely.
I was very nervous while I was undergoing CT angiography because that cholesterol and LPA were high, so that I thought कि something will come. But
हाँ,
luckily for me, in my case, the doctor means that score was 0, and I thought okay,
awesome.
some 40-50 should come. But so I was really very surprised. So I'm
Very
continuing
good.
with that physical activity, and I'm just a living example. Yes, मैंने
क्या
किया
बात है.
6 साल में, तो मुझे benefit हुआ.
Have you
Congratulations.
ever had any cardiac event earlier to this?
नहीं sir, no, not by God grace, nothing. But my readings were not good, even though whether
हाँ.
cholesterol was LDL was my 170s, 165, 170s for number of years, for around 4 or 5 years. And that I went through the Ram Khandelwal sir's article in Times of India, and then I realized, okay, what is the importance of LDL? Then I started getting it checked every 3 months. I met my physician. He also told, okay, this is too high. He started even medicine for me. Then within 6 months, now it is 90. So cholesterol LDL is
Good.
also
So
lower. Ji ma'am.
good.
And
Good. So you identified it, which was good, and you took actions for it, lifestyle modifications.
yes ma'am.
आइडेंटिफाई भी करना जरूरी होता है, लोगों को पता ही नहीं होता है. सो स्क्रीनिंग टेस्ट करके आइडेंटिफाई करना, गेट इट checked by somebody who's qualified, like you go went to a physician and got
Yes,
it checked, and then you took action on it. You didn't sit with it. You took action on it consistently and doing it. Good.
yes,
क्या
ma'am.
बात है. बहुत अच्छी.
Thank you. Thank you. Your session was really very informative. Many things, even though I'm running, I didn't know that what is the role of strength training means and
Oh,
like
yes.
alternate day. Yes, ma'am. So I'm
Yes.
doing it, but no, may not be the perfect way. But you made me realize the importance of doing it in a better way and perfect way, correct way.
You will see
So
a huge difference in your running speed,
yes,
your efficiency of running, your pace. Cramps will reduce. You will see the pace improving good. Your conditioning would be good if you do 3 times in a week of strength training. Good.
yes, ma'am.
Calf muscle, hamstring, sub lower body, of course upper body also.
Yes, ma'am.
But to dedicate three times in a week for strength training.
Yes, ma'am. I'll seriously look into it, and I'll do it regularly, 3 times a week. And obviously, it's very much important. With the growing age, that's really means
Yes.
it has to be
Yes.
taken care of. Yes.
Yes, because just cardio and just endurance running will have your loss of muscle. Muscle
Yes,
loss हो
ma'am.
जाता है अगर रनर्स सिर्फ रनिंग कर रहे हैं और स्ट्रेंथ ट्रेनिंग नहीं कर रहे हैं तो फिर मसल लॉस हो जाता है. ऑब्वियस रीजंस है.
I'll take care. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.
ठीक है, हम अब कुछ सजेस्टेड क्वेश्चंस पे जाते हैं जो कि नॉर्मली लोग जानना चाहते हैं. तो माय फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज व्हाट टाइप ऑफ एक्सरसाइज इज सेफ फॉर हार्ट पेशेंट्स एट डिफरेंट स्टेजेस ऑफ रिकवरी.
As I said, if depends on what condition you have had. If it's an angioplasty, it's a non-invasive thing. Wounds नहीं होते हैं तो थोड़ा रिकवरी जल्दी हो जाती है. And we can start with routine exercises. In fact, as physiotherapists, we also do your stair climbing the next day before discharge. Or you can start your activity slowly and steadily within 15-20 days. But we usually do a 6-minute walk test before we advise any form of exercise. तो आप 15-20 days में आपका एक्सरसाइज जो भी है उसके 6-minute walk test के हिसाब से आप routinely start कर सकते हो. If it is post bypass, then there are phases. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. So phase 1 is the inpatient, hospital based, जहाँ पे आप recover हो रहे हो. Phase 2 में आप जब आप घर जाते हो तो वो वहाँ पे before suture removals तक आपको थोड़ा सा आराम से करना है. Breathing exercises, pneumonia नहीं बैठना चाहिए. So more focus is on breathing exercises and making sure you're keeping your wounds clean and keeping yourself a little at least posture wise active. कुछ posture pain ना हो. And then slowly go on after a month, 6 weeks precisely. Once your sternum heals well, that is your 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, then we say up, हम bump up करते हैं exercises. But everything will depend on the assessment. And as you rightly said, there is no limit. आजकल even post bypass, you can run a marathon, or you can even do scuba diving. I know people who have done even scuba diving after. So there is no limit to what you can do after, thankfully, to the advanced medical surgery techniques. But of course, yes, every person has a different goal. जो जैसा गोल है वैसा ट्रेनिंग आपका होना चाहिए. अगर मेरा गोल है कि मुझे बस आपके रूटीन लाइफ में वापस जाना है, तो हमको वैसे ट्रेनिंग करना है. बट आपका अगर गोल है मुझे मैराथन, जैसे हम पुणे में कहते हैं, लोग आते हैं और बोलते हैं मॅडम मला सिंहगडवर जायचंय परत. इफ दैट इज माय गोल, देन यू हैव टू ट्रेन दैट वे. यू कैन नॉट जस्ट वॉक फॉर आराम से zone 2 for 45 minutes every day and then target Sinhagad. The training has to be that way, depending on your goal.
Right. Body is a very efficient machine and it can adapt itself very easily to your activities. So अगर आप कर सकते हैं तो आपको करना चाहिए. Movement maximum अपने हार्ट को जो है वो पंपिंग की फंक्शनलिटी उसको देते रहिए, तो सब कुछ अच्छा रहता है.
Yes.
ये बताएं कि हाउ कैन वन आइडेंटिफाई ओवर एक्सर्शन ड्यूरिंग एक्सरसाइज. किस तरीके से पता लगे कि मैं ओवर एक्सर्ट कर रहा हूँ एक्सरसाइज के टाइम में?
तो एक तो मैंने जैसे बताया कि आपको थोड़ा सा खुद को मॉनिटर करना है. इफ यू फील यू आर नॉट एबल टू स्पीक मोर देन 4 words, you are actually in the high intensity zone. Now, provided if you're training yourself for HIIT intensity, that's a different story. But if you're not training yourself for HIIT workouts, then you should be able to speak a complete sentence. अगर आपको 4 words से भी ज्यादा आप बोल नहीं पा रहे हो, you're getting breathless, you have to stop or slow down. Or you are feeling anything uneasy. So that's the whole point of the Borg scale. Borg scale is the scale which has feelings in front of the scoring. तो वो जो feelings है वो आपको थोड़ा सा स्टडी करना है. जब वो feelings आपको हो रही है, मतलब वो स्कोर है. Zone 2 का स्कोर है, आपको 13 या 14 के स्कोर के ऊपर नहीं जाना है. That is your zone 2, 12 to 14. अगर आपको 12 to 14 स्कोर का जो फीलिंग है वो आ रहा है आपको, which means you are okay. If you are having a feeling which is scoring you more than 15, 16, 17, 18 के स्कोर के जो फीलिंग्स है वो आ रहे हैं आपको, you have to stop. There is no other way. So Borg scale is a very good identity. And then of course there are various other things where you feel some chest heaviness or any pain radiating. वो extreme हो गया, वहां तक जाना ही नहीं हमको. इसीलिए ये scales use करना है ताकि हम वहां तक जाए नहीं. We stay in the safe limits so that we don't over exert. तो ये Borg scale में मुझे 12, 13, 14 स्कोर के exertion level पे रहना है. वो feeling is a safe feeling for me. I shouldn't go beyond that.
ओके, ये तो हो गई स्टेट्स की बात. बट आर देयर एनी वार्निंग साइंस टू स्टॉप एक्सरसाइजिंग इमीडिएटली? लाइक व्हाट आर द सिम्पटम्स वी मे फील व्हाइल डूइंग एक्सरसाइज?
If you feel क्या बोलते हैं, fainting, if you feel like a syncope, or if you feel a blackout, or if you feel a strong heaviness on your in your chest, or if you feel a crampy feeling in your back sometimes, or a jawline, or a left arm pain, कुछ ऐसे कुछ extreme हो, तो you have to stop there. You have to listen to your body. I always feel, especially when you know that you have a compromised state, you have to listen to your body. Listen to your body if you're too feeling any of these.
कई बार जो पेशेंट्स होते हैं वो ओवर एक्सर्ट इसलिए भी कर जाते हैं कि उनको लगता है कि शायद ये करने से ज्यादा करने से बेनिफिट होगा, बट एक्चुअली वो आपको नुकसान पहुंचा रहा है. तो हमें इन वार्निंग साइंस को देना पड़ेगा डेफिनेटली.
करेक्ट. इसीलिए टॉक टेस्ट करना है कि आप वो जाए नहीं वहां पे. आप टॉक टेस्ट इसलिए करते हैं कि आपको whatever exercises you do, you should be able to speak a complete sentence. You should not be breathless. You're not able to speak even more than 4 words, which means you're into high intensity. You have to stop or slow down.
और किस तरीके से, how should patients gradually increase intensity safely? What are the guidelines?
Guidelines for intensity for cardio and intensity for strength training are different. Okay, so कार्डियो के इंटेंसिटी अलग अलग है. कार्डियो की जैसे जैसे मैंने बताया कि you have to start, of course, if you're not starting, you're just deconditioned, you have to start with zone 1 only, where your heart rate is still there and you're just starting with a basic duration increase, which means you're walking but not looking at the intensity, which means you're not looking at how much your heart rate has gone up. Your heart rate has to stay low, but making sure you're able to walk for a longer time at least. आज मैं 10 मिनट चला, फिर 15 मिनट चला, 20 मिनट चला. Now I'm able to walk for 20 minutes comfortably. Now I will look at my intensity. कि अगर मेरा हार्ट रेट 80 है तो वो एटलीस्ट थोड़ा फास्ट करके मैं एटलीस्ट 20 बीट्स बढ़ा सकूं. तो then I look at the intensity and frequency again depends on the goal. So you start with very low frequency. Sometimes we just say 10 मिनट दिन में 2 बार चल लो आराम से. Then you gradually improve it to having been able to walk for 20 minutes at a stretch once a day. Then when you're doing a once a day 20-minute stretch with a good intensity of zone 2, you increase the intensity. But again, increasing intensity has to be zone 1, zone 2 and not going into zone 3. Strength training का तो अलग ही चीज है. Strength training ideally उसको हम बोलते हैं वैसे कि हर मसल को अच्छे से इवैल्यूएट करके करना चाहिए. जैसे कि 1 RM, मतलब आप 1 रेपिटेशन मैक्स. लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली कार्डियक सर्जरी के बाद या फिर इवेंट के बाद हम 1 RM नहीं कर पाते. मतलब यू कैन नॉट टेस्ट अ मसल फॉर इट्स मैक्सिमम वेट. 1 RM मतलब अगर बाइसेप्स कर रही हूँ मैं, तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं कितने वेट का वेट ले सकती हूँ अभी, जो मैं सिर्फ 1 रेपिटेशन मैक्स, मतलब एक ही रेपिटेशन कर पाऊँ, सेकेंड रेपिटेशन कर ही नहीं पाऊँ. तो ये मेरा क्या वेट है, ये मुझे पहले आइडेंटिफाई करना पड़ता है. और उसके बाद उसके 60% के वेट से मैं स्टार्ट करके 80% तक जाती हूँ. और उसमें भी स्लोली डिपेंडिंग ऑन व्हाट गोल इज, यू हैव टू डू अ प्रोग्रेसिव ओवरलोड. But initially you start with 12 repetitions, one set of a low intensity resistance. You do with 1 set of each group, go to 2 sets of 12 repetitions each, and then you start doing a progressive load with whatever minimum. अगर मैं 2 kg या half kg, 1 kg से start कर रही हूँ, first set would be 1 kg, second set would be 2 kg, third set would be 0.5, with repetitions going डाउन. ऐसे बहुत सारी चीजें है उसमें, बट दैट इज हाउ यू नॉर्मली प्रोग्रेस. दैट इट हैज टू बी अ प्रोग्रेसिव ओवरलोड डिपेंडिंग ऑन व्हाट यू वांट. अगेन एवरीथिंग बॉइल्स डाउन टू व्हाट गोल यू हैव. इफ यू आर डूइंग इट फॉर अ रूटीन रेजिस्टेंस ट्रेनिंग, देन यू डोंट नीड टू डू अ प्रोग्रेसिव ओवरलोड. यू वांट टू बिल्ड अ मसल, इट हैज टू बी अ प्रोग्रेसिव ओवरलोड. ऐसे
मेंटेनेंस और डेवलपमेंट में थोड़ा सा डिफरेंस है. अगर आप मेंटेन करना चाह रहे हैं तो you keep yourself at the same level, or otherwise you can increase intensity and weights.
Correct. Development करना है, growth तो ये करना है, तो yes, then you have to, then the focus is different. The intensity, repetition, frequency, fit principle ही अलग है उसका.
जी, तो मेरे ख्याल से ज्यादातर हम लोग जो हार्ट इवेंट से निकल चुके हैं उनके लिए तो मेंटेनेंस इज द बेस्ट थिंग. ये जो हमारे पास है
training, yes.
ओवर रेजिस्टेंस नहीं करना है, रेजिस्टेंस ट्रेनिंग लेनी है और अपने आप को पूरा फिट रखते हुए अपने हार्ट रेट को ध्यान रखते हुए सब चीजें करनी है.
So research has proven that twice or thrice in a week of resistance training is also enough as a maintenance. In fact, even twice, there are research studies saying even twice in a week if you do resistance training, that will give you equal benefits for maintenance.
राइट. जैसे जो है WHO के हिसाब से भी 150 minutes of exercise in a week, that is enough to keep yourself healthy.
Correct. Vैसे. Yes.
Okay. So it's time to wrap up now. So as we wrap up here, let me give you a few key takeaways from this session. कि exercise is important, but it must be safe and guided. आप हमेशा exercise को अपने फिजियोथेरेपिस्ट के गाइडेंस में कीजिए. पहले अपने आप को इवैल्यूएट करवाइए, चेक करवाइए, अपने पैरामीटर्स को पूरा एकदम ध्यान से समझिए. और जैसा कि डॉक्टर आशावरी ने हमें आज बताया, बहुत अच्छी चीज बताई है. जो बॉर्ग स्केल है उसका ध्यान रखिए, उसको यूज कीजिए. अपनी लिमिट्स को पहचानिए और फिर एक्सरसाइज के लिए जाइए। और टाइप ऑफ एक्सरसाइज उसी पर डिपेंड करेगी कि आप किस तरीके से अपने आप को उसके अकॉर्डिंगली अडेप्ट कर पाते हैं। और दूसरा, ओवर एक्सर्शन को अवॉइड कीजिए एंड फॉलो स्ट्रक्चर्ड प्रैक्टिसेस। आपको आउट ऑफ द वे नहीं जाना है, अपनी लिमिट्स को पहचानना है और बिल्कुल उसी में रहते हुए आपको सब चीज़ों का ध्यान रखना है। अपने डॉक्टर से हमेशा कंसल्ट करते रहिए और अपने रूटीन को मॉडिफाई करते रहिए अपने फिजिकल स्टैंडर्ड्स के हिसाब से। और आपकी जो फिजिक इस समय क्या कह रही है उसको समझना बहुत ज़्यादा जरूरी है। डॉक्टर आशा ने जैसे बताया कि क्या की सिम्टम्स हो सकते हैं, कब आपको रुकना है, क्या आपको प्रिकॉशंस लेने हैं। तो ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ हार्ट हेल्थ इंडिया फाउंडेशन एंड एसओसी वीपीआर, I sincerely thank Dr. Asha Vari Page for her valuable time and insights, and all of you for joining us today. So thank you,
Yes,
Dr.
thank
Asha
you.
Vari, for your such insights, and thank you everyone for participating in this session. And before we close the calendars, stay connected with HHIF for upcoming sessions. हम इस तरह के सेशंस हमेशा महीने में 1-2 बार करते रहते हैं, जैसे कि दिल के डाउट सेशन जो हमने आज किया, और इसके अलावा फिर जो थर्सडे पे सेशंस करते हैं जिसमें हम लोग ग्रुप के अंदर बैठ करके अपने दिल की बातें शेयर करते हैं, वो सेशन भी हम लोग करते हैं। तो आप हमारे व्हाट्सएप चैनल से जुड़ करके अपनी सभी समस्याओं को हमारे साथ में शेयर कर सकते हैं, दूसरे लोगों के एक्सपीरियंसेस को जान सकते हैं, नॉलेज वहाँ से ले सकते हैं। हमारे नेटवर्क में काफ़ी सारे फिजियोथेरेपिस्ट, डॉक्टर्स हैं